Check 1, 2, 3. Okay. Hi, welcome everybody. This has been quite an experience. I'm super thrilled to have the opportunity to do it. It's been great working with all these awesome students and musicians and just genuine human beings that are good people and wanting to have some fun. So it's been really great. If you don't know, tonight is themed on Charles Mingus and his music. The whole theme of our SCV Summer Jazz Camp has been Mingus, Mingus and more. And tonight, if you don't know, Mingus is or was a jazz bass player and composer, a civil rights leader whose roots were in gospel and blues and New Orleans music. He was heavily influenced by Jelly Roll Morton, if you're familiar with him. Also heavily influenced by Duke Ellington. And I think you can hear a lot of this stuff in his music. You'll hear a lot of passion. He was a very passionate human being his whole life. He grew up in Los Angeles, and we've talked about all of these things a little bit in hopes to try to get to know Mingus a little better. We had 7 days before today, and we came up with a 7-tune set. So a tune a day, which is pretty incredible. I've never done that with any high school band ever. So that's a feat in and of itself. And we're really excited. And in those 7 tunes, 5 of them are, 5 of them are Mingus compositions. And of those, 2 of them are completely memorized. And the whole band knows all the parts, actually. They learned it all by ear. And that's really incredible. And you'll see them with music stands in front of them, but they won't be looking at them on those tunes. And I'll point it out, and you'll be impressed. And then 2 of the last 2 tunes that I haven't mentioned are original compositions. I asked the group to come up with their own tunes. They wrote their own songs. And 2 of them were up, like, ready for the whole band to play. And we said, okay, let's do it. And they were both pretty influenced by the music we've already been playing. So we'll have original compositions from two of our students, and I'll announce those as we get there. And right now. So without further ado, we'll start with Charles Mingus's composition, Nostalgia in Times Square. And, sorry. It'll feature solos by Andrew Bousfield, Justin Collier on vibraphone, and John Collier, we got brothers here, on drum set. Great. So this next tune is another Mingus composition. It's called Noddin' Your Head Blues. Actually, it's called Noddin' Ya Head Blues is how we wrote it. And it's going to feature solos by Luke DeVore on alto saxophone, Brandon Gonzaga on Barry. Yeah, that's right. And then a little bit of everybody else, too. Hope you enjoy it. Here it is. So now we've come to the point where we have some original compositions. So this first one is by our vibraphonist Justin Collier, and it's called No Biggie, which is kind of true. I think it's a biggie, but he doesn't think so. That's fine. And it's going to feature Justin on vibraphone, Brandon Gonzaga again on Barry sax again, yeah, and Parsa Karimi on keyboard for us. So please enjoy the world debut. Yeah, he says he guessed. You didn't play it at Carnegie Hall or anything? No, not yet. Okay. So the world debut of No Biggie by Justin Collier.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, go.
Okay, so this next tune is a tune that Mingus called Canon. A canon, you all know what a canon is, probably, whether you know it or not. You know it. It's a round. So it was a popular style to do in classical music. Virtually every composer that came in that era did some kind of version of a canon, and Mingus took it upon himself to make a jazz version of a canon. And this is one of the tunes that the band has memorized. Actually, they learned it from the recording, and it was really common practice for Mingus himself to teach his band this way too. He didn't have written music all the time for his band. He would just sing the parts to everybody, and they would learn it by ear, and that's kind of how we did. I mean, we had a recording, so that helped, but they didn't have to listen to me sing, which is good. So that's how we're going to do this, and this one's going to feature Jordan Fishburne on trombone. Yeah, and yeah, we'll leave it there. Thought about something better than that. trombone. Pulling out all the stops. This next tune's called Wednesday Night Prayer Meeting. This is a tune that Mingus wrote, inspired by prayer groups that his mother would go to and attend on Wednesday nights. It's literally just that, and so it's very, very much in the gospel feel. It's going to feature Quinn Sims on the bass, because it's Mingus. We got to have some bass features, and then it's also going to feature Luke on alto saxophone. You've heard from him, and we're going to feature Cole. I didn't ask how to say your last name. Is it Shuddy? Cole Shuddy. I did it. Yes. On trumpet. By the way, I want to bring this up before I go on to mention the next soloist. How many people in this band are improvising with the band for the very first time? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. That's not true.
No,
I like you, but it's not. I like you. In a performance, okay, I'll give you that. In a performance, he says in a performance. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 10. That's half the band. How many people have? Yeah, really, that's incredible. How many people here this is their first time in a band playing jazz? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's almost half. Unbelievable. And how many incoming freshmen do we have? 3. Crazy. This is insane. If you didn't know, Mingus's music is not easy, and we're really doing the same arrangements that his band did. So this is really incredible for these freshmen to step up in 7 days and really pull this off. This is really great. So Cole will be featured on his first ever solo here. So that's really exciting for all of us. And then last but not least, we'll have Quinn play another solo for us because Mingus, we have to do it. So and he sounds good enough to do that. So we're excited. So without further ado, here's Wednesday Night Prayer Meeting. Ooh, I need to measure. This is the one. fun. All right. I'm having a good time. So this next tune, we've come to the point where we have our second original composition. This one's an original composition by Andrew Bousfield, our trombone player, one of two. And he wrote this tune, and and it's called I Was Thinking About My Elbow. And it's very much in the style of Mingus, I feel like. So I'm excited to hear it. It's going to feature Andrew on trombone for a solo and Quinn again on bass. So enjoy I Was Thinking About My Elbow.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
World premiere. I Was Thinking About My Elbow. Andrew Bousfield. I think there's lyrics to that song. He hasn't told me not, but I think I was thinking about. Maybe, I don't know. So we've got to the point where we have one more tune left, and I have a bunch of thank yous to make. First and foremost, thank you to Fishburns. We really appreciate everything that you've done. So thank you so much. Thank you to all the participants and parents that have been helpful. We've had a lot of parents stepping up and helping. The Colliers have helped a bunch. The Bousfields have been helping. Nathan Bousfield has been doing this live stream for us, so thank you so much. Yeah. We also actually got a lot of equipment for this live stream from Harrison Kirk, who's probably not listening, but if you know him, he works at Nick Rail Music, and so he's actually donated for us to borrow a bunch of this recording equipment, not this microphone, but every other microphone, every music stand, this soundboard, all that stuff. That's coming from him, and him just being a nice guy. So go support Nick Rail Music. They also donated a bunch of folders for us, and they gave me incredible discounts on cables and things like that if I needed to buy anything for this camp. So go support them. We thank them very much. The last but not least is our staff. We need to thank Bob Grigas, who's been helping us out. Our honorary rhythm section and vibraphone coach, who's really an all-around band coach, because he knows a lot about music, and it's always a pleasure working with him. So thank you, Bob, and thanks Bob too. And then really last but not least, my lovely wife, who is embarrassed now, but she's an incredible trumpet player and teacher, and so she's been helping out a lot of the new horn players that have been in the band that have never played before in a jazz way, and she's so good at that, and so I don't even, like, I get up here and I wave my arms or whatever, but she's doing a lot of the hard work and the heavy lifting, so we really appreciate her. So thank you. And in addition, she's running the soundboard too, so that's incredible. Yeah. So with that, we'll close out with a standard of Mingus's repertoire. Actually, I think he only recorded it once, which is crazy because I think this is probably amongst his most famous compositions. It's a composition called Boogie Stop Shuffle, and he was coming from playing in these old big bands where they would play this style called Boogie Woogie, and where you have constant eighth notes. So he called this tune Boogie Stop because you'll hear that there's eighth notes and then there's a stop in the line every time, booga-dooga-dat, and there's a little break there. So that's where it's coming from. And it's a shuffle because it's a swing tune, and it's a burner, and there's crazy lines, and everyone's going to have a great time. This is, I think, by far the band's favorite tune to play. So without further ado, we have Boogie Stop Shuffle featuring Brandon Gonzaga on bari saxophone, Brandon DeVore on alto saxophone, and Parsa Karimi on keyboard again. Boogie Stop Shuffle. Luke DeVore on alto saxophone. Brandon DeVore on alto saxophone. Cole Shuddy on trumpet. Trying to go in order a little bit. Brandon Gonzaga on Barry and bass clarinet. Andrew Bousfield. Jordan Fishburne. Justin Collier. Marcia Karimi. Quinn Sims. Jonathan. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.